7 o'clock on September 12th, 2023. I'd like to call the public hearing to order. Review and propose ordinance text amendments for 6-2 driving regulations. Draft ordinance was available on the town website. The town board will adopt the ordinance at the monthly board meeting directly following the adjournment of the public hearing. And for conditional use permit request made by Tasha and Jason Bynum to allow an office in the existing workshop area to provide health and wellness services. Property is located at North 7010 Crowhill Road, parcel 0180713054200.
And so we got a written comment from Tom Krejci, I think it's his name, and he just had some grammatical suggestions and such that he provided via email, his comments about the ordinance 6-2.
So first call for anyone that would like to comment. Let me do it separate.
Yeah.
6-2 driving regulations. Second call for anyone that wants to provide public comment on 6-2 driving regulations. And third call for 6-2 driving regulations.
I move we close the public hearing on the ordinance 6-2 driving regulations.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
Is it for driving regulations? And,
No, just that.
No, just that.
Just
that one.
this game is still open.
okay.
First call for any public comment on the conditional use permit request made by Tasha and Jason Bynum to allow for an office in the existing workshop area to provide health and wellness services. Second call for public comment on the conditional use permit request made by Tasha and Jason Bynum. Third call for any public comment on the conditional use permit request made by Tasha and Jason Bynum.
Make a motion to close public hearing.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Motion carries. Public hearing adjourned. 7:03.
Oh, I guess I adjourn that. I make a motion to adjourn the public hearing.
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Public hearing adjourned at 7:03. It is 7:03. I'd like to call the Town of Lake Mills Town Board meeting on September 12th, 2023 to order. It was posted at the Town Hall and on the town website. We get a motion to adopt tonight's agenda.
I'll make that motion to adopt September's agenda as printed.
I'll second the motion.
Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries to approve tonight's agenda. Can we get a motion to approve the public hearing minutes from August 8th, 2023?
Make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve the August 8th, 2023 Town of Lake Mills Town Board minutes?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Second.
Any other discussion on minutes? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries. Can we get a motion to approve treasurer's report?
Make a motion to approve September 2023 treasurer's report as presented.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carried. The motion to approve the town board expense sheets. There's a couple of those.
I'll make a motion to approve the expense sheet for Robin for convention and,
No, mine was for training.
Training.
Yeah.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. Motion carries to approve items expense sheets.
Dave, I had one, so you want
Yeah.
for the.
Oh, I'll make a motion to approve Jim's expense sheet.
For the convention.
Yeah, for the convention.
I'll second that. Any other discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay, motion carries. There's one for that too, isn't there?
This is a little different.
Oh, yes, it's covered under the.
There's a cover part of
Gotcha.
it.
Kevin's, that was all, I'm just saying, yep, got it. Okay. All right, moving on. Can we get a motion to approve the general fund motion?
I make a motion to approve September's disbursements, $128,131.77.
Second that motion?
Any discussion, other discussion on those?
The only question I have, Tom, is, Matt has on here for the 5 trees removed, was that ones on Stony Creek, or were they?
There were some in Short Hills, and I think there was, but I didn't mention what the 120%.
Usually puts it on his invoice. We can-
I was just kinda curious to make sure that.
I don't remember seeing that on the invoice.
I did maybe,
Short Hills.
Yeah, 4 dead ash trees on Sherwood Hills Road and removal of large dead oak tree over the road at Elm Point Road.
I see it listed there wrong.
Yeah, that's
I did notify them about Stony Creek though.
It's not that it's gonna snow tonight, but it's gonna be a problem.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, say nay, motion carries. Approve disbursements. Reports, police report.
All right, so in August, the police department put in 40.5 hours out on the boat. There was 11.5 hours of administration time with the program. Only 1 citation was issued, 3 warnings. There were no assists, but there were 7 safety compliance checks on the boats. And what that totaled for us for the year so far, not including September, is we had 119 hours, actually someone physically on the boat, on the water. We had 44 and a half hours administrating the program because the DNR has the paperwork we have to get submitted to them and such. 14 citations, 24 warnings, 7 total assists for the summer, and 25 safety checks. So this is better than last year, but it is less than I was hoping for. We did have 3 maintenance issues with the boat. Technically, one was the same issue, but it had to get fixed twice because it didn't have all the parts the first time. So there was a little bit of time that it was not available. But I had hoped for a better year. We had hired 4 specifically to do the boat patrol. We hired some really quality people, and the thing about quality people is a lot of times they're very busy and they had multiple jobs, and one of them had recently retired and had some vacations lined up, and we didn't get the staffing out there that I had hoped for, but again, it's improvement on last year. So, I already have some ideas in the works for a couple other people for next year. I think we'll see some staffing changes, but I'm hopeful for that. On top of the time that we had in the boat, we did also have 44 and a quarter hours of squad patrol. There were a total of about 12 complaints that were handled, including animal welfare, residential harm, house alarm, vehicle runoff, 4 abandoned property issues, and we had a mowing complaint that they looked into. We had a OWI for defense, and the passenger got a warrant, and then I worked on an airplane complaint. We had a plane land on the lake, but we weren't able to track it down. And of course, Bob is...
Every year, doesn't it?
No. So, and of course, Bob has been very diligently getting parking out there. So I did give a presentation to the Rock Lake Improvement Association. I'd say at least about 50 people there, I think. It was a really good turnout, and there was a long question and answer session. I bet I talked for half an hour, 20 minutes at least.
Half hour.
Yeah. Timekeeper. And I thought it went really well, and I think they asked a lot of really good questions. And what was encouraging to me is we have so many people that are concerned about our lake and how we take care of it and stuff. So that was a really nice event. Just a couple of updates for anybody that needs to know. We do have a new court clerk starting, Ann left. And we have a new lady, I believe she was a dispatcher in Fort Atkinson. She'll be starting, I believe, the 18th. She's still using the same email address, but it'll be a different person. I can't remember her name. I will get the jet ski up for sale. And I believe you guys looked at a combination launch pass that was going to combine the seasonal and the daily.
That was
And,
an in-house thing.
what's that?
That was an in-house for administration,
Yeah.
yes.
So that is at your printing, waiting for the final okay to print that out. I believe we're going to have enough as well, and some extras to make it through the rest of this year. But next year, hopefully it'll be less to juggle. And the old ones, the daily ones, are no longer making those envelopes anymore. Anyway, so we're going to be forced into something anyway. So, does anybody have any questions for me? Anyone in the gallery have any questions for me?
Thanks, Chief. So,
Thank you, sir.
okay, planning commission report, Jim.
We had the 3 petitions, one from Coons RV, which there were a few conditions put on that, or comments, I guess. We'll discuss that later at agenda item. One for Tricia Bynum, Tasha Bynum, sorry. It was passed with conditions that they worked out with the town on the violations for the excavation and stuff. And then the conditional use, I'm sorry, the one on the Jefferson County amendment to the zoning was denied by the planning commission 4-0, 4-1. So we can talk about that more.
All right, Cambridge Fire EMS report, Dave.
Cambridge Fire Commissioners met on the 10th of August. We elected officers. Mark Cook, he was another term for being president. Sheila Plankus is the treasurer and also the secretary, which there was some discussion in the IGA. It talks about those 2 offices being separate or combined, so we decided to leave them combined. The other thing is we have hired Janet DeWitt, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. She is a CPA to do analyze to the year-to-date books, do an audit, and also is going to take a look at depreciation and asset schedule. So we have 2 meetings coming up. We have a budget workshop on the 18th of this month, and also then a regular commission meeting on the 21st to approve the budget and also just a regular meeting. So,
Excellent, thanks, Steve.
yep.
Joint Rock Lake Committee report. So,
I don't have much of a report. The past 2 meetings, we've been working on the request for the resolution 23-42 that the city requested in regard to lake levels, and our report is done, and will be final approval on Thursday and given to the city on the 16th, by the 16th, and then I think we're on the agenda for the September meeting to present it.
Excellent,
Any questions?
thank you. Town Chairman report, City County State Road Budget Project. We had a quick city meeting this week actually with Lisa Curley and Drake. That was there, and we just talked about joint Rock Lake Committee, just kind of kick off and kind of get back to the table. We talked about fire a little bit and public works order. Nothing too earth-shaking, just to kind of get things moving and try to meet on a more regular basis, be monthly, hopefully at some point here. At the county level, mainly dealing with road stuff, but it dealt with clean boats, clean waters a little bit. We'll get to that a little bit later. Brian did not get back to me on the Court Lane quotes. He was going to try, but it didn't happen, unfortunately. So, got that going on, and then I haven't heard too much on Rock Lake Road. It's kind of sitting idle, but I think the state is just kind of moving forward with that. At the state level, actually came out of a meeting where there were some reports on some of the pest-related issues in the state of Wisconsin. Sponging moth was at record highs again this year, and obviously with the drought we have statewide, trees are under duress and stress, and we're probably going to be staring at even more dead trees a year or two from now, which
Usually takes a year.
there's a lot this year, we had. So just something to potentially prepare for. Down the road. As far as roads, we still have all the projects kind of sitting on the table right now. Potential of recycling the Mud Lake Road and the STP local rule for that October deadline. We'll get to that a little bit later because obviously we had somebody change positions, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. It's dealing with some of that stuff. And then Rock Lake Road too, potentially deferring the billing on that to next year. I'm trying to think what else there was. I'll talk about Korth a little bit. I don't have any figures back on that. Did Brian send the Korth Highlands project?
It's all been submitted.
It isn't, that is submitted now. Yeah. Okay, because he just said he was a little apologetic and it came in a little bit, I think, over what he said, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought we were hearing like 45 and he said like 42 or something like that. But he said the turnaround ended up being a little bit more to do it right, down that cul-de-sac. So that's all I have on that, other than getting around and seeing. There's not a whole lot of potholes. There's a couple more on North Shore Road. Matt's going to be taking care of those that popped up. Bug Tussle County project, I sat in on a city meeting for that, but most of it, about 100% of it at least, while I was there, was city related. It wasn't really town related. And I'm not sure if there's anybody from Bug Tussle here tonight, because they said they were going to come. Nobody, all right, well, I'm not gonna have much to report there.
And they haven't been in contact with us since we sent out the information about what our expectations are and requirements are as far as permits and such, so.
Yeah, and so, just quickly, the city kind of put them back to the drawing board because they ran into all kinds of issues with the current plans, so they had kind of go back to the drawing board, so I think that probably set them back a little bit.
Are they, just a question, are they going to talk with the town separately then?
They should,
Okay.
that's why I was hoping they would come in. We can, they'll probably be out there. I mean, my guess is the way this thing is moving, that we could probably just get them out of October and get them back here. So we don't have to have a different meeting for that. And that's it. First committee report, meeting on Thursday. So one quick there. Town Hall Facilities Committee.
We're going to be meeting on Thursday as well. We've got the conservation of property. Barry Lewis is working on getting it listed. He's got to provide us with some of the information as far as this action on it and such. He's going to be sending that to him. And then we're going to be asking for a recommendation, or recommending later in this agenda for the referendum language to go be constructed by an attorney. So, we'll talk about more.
All right, period public comment. Now's the time for the general public to come to the podium. State your name, your address, and please keep your comments to 3 minutes or less.
John Pure, from Woodfield Lane, and on the Bug Tussle outwards. Will that be both fiber optic and cellular internet service? Is that the potentiality of what's being offered by Bug Tussle?
I think it's,
We've been on those meetings, not.
I think it's
Bug Tussle's running the fiber optics.
fiber optics, yeah.
And if you, Spectrum and other internet providers will be tying on to
Tying on to their stuff, yeah.
providing service to the residents.
the other comment was on existing buildings that would serve as a potential retrofit for a new town hall. Any of the abandoned buildings, vacant buildings, sanitary in the park, and save on initial cost, especially thinking of the plant that was mentioned. So,
Thank you. All right, application, discussion, or decision on excavation driveway work done on Kroger Road by Jason and Tasha Bynum. Without permits updated, reviewed done by town engineer, and additional corrections to be included in compliance with town ordinances. This was a culvert that was installed, right? Corey, you're right. I see.
Corey and is Jason, Jason? Okay, so Jason's here as well, not Tasha this time.
So I drove by there today, you got 12-inch culvert in each driveway. Correct. And Corey's recommending 2 12s or something additional. In both driveways?
Yes, the ordinance has a minimum of 15
Right.
inch, and the drainage area to that is significant enough to where that is needed. The only reason why I suggested 2 12 inches because there was already one 12 inch out there, so in lieu of just tearing that out and throwing it away, you could add another 12 inch. Plus, I'm assuming a 12 inch is probably used too because there isn't a lot of cover over the top of the pipes at the driveway.
Correct. The original 2 12-inch culverts that we had replaced were underground, so water would not even flow through them. One of them was completely crushed, the other one was just buried. So the problem we had was the water would run down the neighboring fields, onto the road, across, down our driveway, and directly into our barn. So we replaced it with 2 12-inch culverts like we had there, and there's not a lot of grade above to actually put anything larger in, which is why we had the excavator out there and dug out a ditch to try to at least make it so that we could get the 8 inches of gravel on top.
So we got another 12 went in, so you have
No,
two 12s.
you got 1 12 in each driveway.
In each
Oh, so you gotta add,
Correct.
you would have to add another one, that's one, that's your recommendation.
So that would be 2 12-inch next to each other per driveway.
And those are new, recently installed, or they're there.
Yep.
And the rest of the excavation, Corey, was okay, from what you looked at for the ditching? Because that was the other issue, was the excavation of the road right away with all the permit. And then the driveway was a separate issue, so.
I didn't visit the site, I certainly could if you'd like me to. It sounds like Jim took over that.
I didn't see any problem with what he did in the ditch myself. He cleaned it out, like he said, it's gonna flow better. He gets the additional culvert in each driveway. It'll definitely help the first one to the south. The second one the one to the north is a little less shallow ditch. And in my opinion, the town should ditch where he left off, ditch.
Yeah, that was my thought.
Because it's drain better, because what he did in the ditch area in front of his place was a good job, and I think it was adequate, but we need to continue that.
Right.
Where the water's just gonna pool next to the north.
The hiccup was the fact that you didn't get the permit initially, that was it. That's right, the hiccup was the fact you didn't get the excavation permit for that part.
Yes, and that was completely my fault. I didn't realize I needed a permit for that, so.
Right.
In your opinion, how much more ditching would be required more to the north?
To the north, I mean, it slopes pretty good after about another 100 feet from our north driveway.
Yeah, it does. That's it. Our biggest tree we have in the township.
That might be in the way.
what I'm thinking is we haven't done any ditching in several years, so we don't have a contractor that could do that, actually.
The last couple of times we've hired Jeff LeVay to do those, he does it as a little fill-in.
So does Tom want to do that work? After he gets his culverts in?
We can, but we're gonna have to figure out what funds we have left.
Oh,
That's gonna be a bigger question.
all right. I'll make a motion that,
I mean, well, obviously you can do it next year, but we could do it this year and defer billing until next year. Or you wanna do it, but
we've got all the permits signed and stuff.
Yep, they submitted everything that was required at this point now, yes.
So I'll make a motion to have Jason and Tasha Lyman add an additional 12-inch culvert in each driveway.
Second.
any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Is there anything you want to recognize as far as the excavation, the fact that they didn't have a permit, just so it's on the record that it was resolved?
We can make a motion from those.
Okay, accepting as it is there.
I make a motion that the excavation done in the ditch is adequate and acceptable to the town.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
That would have noted that it's all
Taken
resolved.
care of. Yep.
Okay.
All right. Discussion or decision to request a preliminary plat review of design for General Kunis Lake Mills Property LLC, construction of a new RV sales and service garage and removal of existing buildings at North 6796 and then North 6798 County Road 8. Pin number 0180713124005.
There are larger plans here.
I saw those.
Yeah, earlier.
Yesterday.
They're here to be represented. Queens.
Yep. Well, I mean, one of the bigger questions was the assessment part, and that was stirred up by the town of Milford,
Yeah.
with the split assessment.
And based on what I had gotten back from our assessor, it sounds like that's something that's kind of normally done, that
Yeah.
the assessors themselves work out,
Sure.
so.
Yep. Yes, which I had a lesser issue of, and I can see why they probably had an issue, because it looks like, I don't know, it looks like the building's gonna go on the town of Lake Mills, and there's nothing on the town of Milford, so I'm sure that's part of the reason why they're not happy about the assessment end of it. But, you know, it's kind of the chip still, I guess, on that one. But other than that, I mean,
The comments from the plan commission were, in our ordinance 5-4 subdivision ordinance, it states that the parking lot needs to be paved. You can see from their plans, it's probably only 20-25% paved, which is for their patrons that come. All the trailers are back on the gravel or whatever. And the plan commission said that we made a motion to waive that requirement to have the entire street paved. For the reason that it's going to get tore up when campers around, plus it provides better, it's impervious surface, provides better drainage.
well, especially on that land, going
Yep,
back.
it's all going back that way.
Yeah, for buffer zone, yeah, absolutely.
The other comment was that lighting, we asked them about the lighting on the parking lot to make sure it does not spill over off their property, and then they said they would comply with that, with the fixture types that cut it off, and there won't be any halos above in the sky.
Right.
Oh, we discussed building permit.
Yes.
And there, I tried to get an answer from the town chairman, town Milford, but I didn't succeed. So, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't matter what building permit issue, or building inspector issues the building permit, just as long as it gets done. So, we don't make any money off of it in any way.
Right.
Nobody does. So, if Milford wants to issue it, that's fine. Lake Mills won't issue it. If they don't want to, we will. So I guess you go and talk to Milford, I assume you're on their.
Would it be safe to say to go by the address that's set?
Well, I would. It's like, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to fight you.
And if they look to have a building permit issued as well, that's what we have to do. We're not gonna upset anybody.
Okay.
We're gonna take care of that issue, right?
Yeah,
So,
we know we need a building permit, it just doesn't make sense to have two.
Right, so I agree.
So why would you have to take one out for the town of Milford anyway, for the parking lot?
Not for the back portion of the
it could be for the improvements within their town.
Hopefully they're very similar to what our requirements are, otherwise we've got two set of standards for this
Right.
building.
Right. But the building's totally in the town of Lake Mills. The parking lot is in the town of Milford, parts of it.
There's a little portion, a little portion.
Make sure you're looking at the right.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, all right, gotcha.
The other thing, did we get cable to do electrical inspection?
That's gonna take a little time.
It's takes.
Yeah, because we have to make sure our ordinance language is updated too.
So that's not an issue at this point.
Okay.
And it depends on what you got in there for a service. Our inspector may not be able to inspect it anyway, that might have to be farmed out. We have 400 amp service, 3-phase, single.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe 600, I thought it was
Yeah.
Yeah, we may go up to 6 depending, you know, with this
Sure,
whole
yeah.
EV craze coming on, there's cameras that are coming and with full beds, and you gotta possibly charge those when you're servicing them, so we would need to be prepared for.
Sure, yeah, and our inspector can give you that electrical permit, but then it would be farmed out for inspection.
There was one other item, and that was the stormwater management plan. We requested that our engineer review that. Because there is a retention pond.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Makes
So the
sense.
cost will be go back to them for that.
Right, and the cost of rebuilding that for an engineer's time. Again, the town of Milford, as an engineer, it's really on their property, so I wouldn't require you to do it twice. I don't think we should. Just once.
Yeah, the DNR being distributed over an acre, the DNR is gonna be involved as well.
Right, yeah.
You want to make that motion since it's close to you?
Make a motion that we approve the plat for Coons, MSI General Coons Lake Mills Property LLC for the construction of a new RV sales and service garage and the removal of the existing buildings. Condition on they comply with our ordinance 5.4 in respect to the lighting issues and work out stormwater management plan to be reviewed by the engineer and work out between the town of Lake Mills and town of Milford on what building inspector will issue.
And waive the pavement.
And waive the requirement of paving the entire site.
Second.
Except the plan that's shown.
Second.
Get that all? You got that.
It's been shorthand at one point.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
Just one follow-up question, is it possible to get just a meeting with two people, like someone from the town of Milford and from Lake Mills, so we could just have a conversation in the room together and sort this out? Is that an option?
That's what I tried to do with my email. I invited them here, or, you know, we could go there. Their meeting's Thursday night, but
Okay.
I kind of cut off, so. I didn't pursue it any further.
Okay. I mean, would someone be able to attend that meeting on Thursday? I'm sorry?
It doesn't matter to me, yeah.
We were told that we would not have to attend the meeting, so I don't even know if we're on the agenda
Really?
For Thursday.
for Thursday.
Yeah, so
Do they require plat review?
well, they may have, I guess. We'll have to confirm that with Steve. There were some emails flying around today, and so they may have just, maybe they're deferring to you by that, but I'll get confirmation on that. So that would be simpler if they defer to Lake Mills and then you guys have jurisdiction and we can just run with it, so.
We'll have to check their agenda.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't know.
Their agenda will come out if it's not out already.
Because there's no zoning change. No
No,
zoning at all involved. So,
yeah, there's no conditional use needed.
Yeah.
That popped up somewhere in the discussion too, that's, there's nothing there.
Yeah, at one point they were asked for us to put in a conditional use permit, but I think that was supposed to be translated into maybe the building permit. We might have had those mixed up, but
Yeah,
again,
call the clerk.
yeah, we have.
Yeah, my number's on the website too, so,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Just leave a message if, or a voicemail if I don't pick up there.
I know our attorney at CUNIS also has a relationship with both attorneys at both townships, and he's talked to both of them as well, and it's like,
Yeah.
they don't really have.
Yeah.
We're still in limbo.
Yeah. It's not the first time this has happened, but.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
I'll get what we have that needs to be signed, I'll get it all signed back for the meeting, plan, get it over to you.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, discussion or decision for conditional use permit request made by Tasha and Jason Bynum to allow for an absence workshop area to provide health and wellness services. The property is located at North 7010 Coolwell Road, and parcel 018-2713-0542-000.
On this issue, the plan commission requested that they contact our building inspector, excuse me, see if they needed a building permit. And according to our ordinance, I read it today that I think they do, because it's commercial use. And any commercial use has to be issued a permit. Just for remodeling or whatever, no dollar amount on remodeling for commercial. There is on residential, it has to be over 5,000. But commercial, if you're doing anything, need a permit. And then the other condition was to work out the ditching and the violations, which we just did. So it would just be the conditioned on the getting a building permit.
We're not actually building anything. The only thing we've been doing is just painting and removed some insulation out that was old and weathered.
Right.
Other than that, there will be no building that needs to take place.
Yeah, we asked your wife about that, I think it's your wife, is it right?
Yes, it is.
And she said the same thing. I asked her about electrical, and she said, we didn't do any electrical. The way I read the ordinance, it doesn't matter. You need to contact him. Let him figure out what he needs. Because you are seeing patients, 2 to 3 a month.
She did call and they said that we wouldn't, unless we were building, like, started to construct walls and ran electrical, that we wouldn't need a permit.
You talked to Chris?
Yes. And he did say if it was like a change of use, if it was going from agriculture to something else, that we would have to, but it's still really the same purpose. We're just merging our businesses, my farm business and the garden and drying herbs in here and storing product in here. The only difference is that it'll be, we'll have people coming there to basically pick up and consult.
So under the A1 zoning, they're asking, at the county level, they're asking you to take out a conditional use permit so that you're allowed to do the workshop area and the health and wellness services in the A1 zone, is that?
Correct.
So as long as you contacted him once, can you contact him again and ask him to send you a letter, Lisa, with that, get us a copy of that?
Copy me in on an email, he's obviously got my email address, so you just need a confirmation that will attach that to your application for the record.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's right, because if it's an A1 building, then the service would be the only thing that has to be inspected. I'm wondering if you have the public coming in and out of there, does it need to be fire inspected?
Well, that's why they're getting conditional use. They're actually gonna see people, the public in this facility. So I just wanna cover all our bases so we're protected. They contacted the building inspector and everything will be fine.
Long run too, it protects them if something were to happen.
Right,
We
yeah.
did have a permit for this, so it would protect them as well.
And if you do have to have a fire inspection, it's just exits, fire extinguishers, make sure that, it's safe for people to exit quickly.
That's done through the fire department.
That's sent to the fire department, yeah.
So I make a motion to approve the conditional use permit with the condition that they provide us a letter, town board letter from the building and town's building inspector stating that they do not need any permits.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Discussion or decision of proposed amendments to section 11-04F8, A3 agricultural rules residential of Jefferson County zoning ordinance and amendment to the county comprehensive plan and farmland preservation plan.
Okay, did you read the amendment? Basically, they want to
Hold up the end documents.
allow any A3 split in the county prior to 2000, the dates in there, the year 2000, an additional, up to additional 2 splits. But they still have to have the 1 acre minimum, other requirements for that lot. I asked Steve Nass what the purpose behind this was, and he said that it's being requested by the towns out in Exonia, the eastern part of the county, right next to Waukesha County, and that the committee, the zoning committee, felt that it would cut down the number of splits on prime agriculture. I said to Steve, if a person has all prime land, 200 acre farm, he's allowed 2 splits, 2 1 acre splits. And the A3 lot, 10 acre A3 lot next to him is gonna have 2 more splits. I said, that's just not fair. It's just not fair, and I said, I think that the county's gonna open themselves up to a lot of lawsuits, because the county's gonna end up picking and choosing which areas, what A3 lots they're gonna allow splits on, so what they're not going to based on land type. And it's just opening up a whole can of worms that I think they're going to in court. So, that was my comment on that. And I don't feel it's gonna cut down any splits at all.
I think it increased.
Because the guy with 200 acres gets his regard cut down. And then you're getting 2 more to A3.
Right.
He said there's approximately 60 parcels that this could affect. 68 throughout the county, 60 A3 parcels in the county. So if they each get 2 splits, that's another 120 homes in agricultural areas of the town. Towns. Thank you. We got voted down at the planning commission for Steve Max for it, basically because he's on his own.
Right, yeah.
Well, if you guys.
It's gonna be a positive motion.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the amendments to section 11.04 F8A3 agricultural rural residential for Jefferson County zoning.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. All opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion fails.
They still have to get 9 towns in the county approve it. And then go ahead.
Okay, old business, discussion or decision of resolution for intergovernmental agreement with Cambridge
standards
I
and
did
language
glance at
that should be in that, because the county wants that on file, so it's very clear when they did their mapping where those lines are, so that when they upload that to the 911 system, it's accurate.
I thought we mentioned that to Paul, I mean,
It's
that's last
possible,
meeting.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure we did, and I thought they were gonna get that taken care of.
Okay.
He gave them a
We just
reminder.
want to make sure that language gets in there. They're willing to help write up the legal descriptions if we need help with it.
Yep, okay.
I'll check with him.
All right, discussion or decision of court filling shoulder maintenance and review estimates from chairperson. We don't have any Brian to give that time, so county level, so that's item. Discussion or decision of text amendments to adopt for town ordinance 6-2 driving regulations.
You just have the comments from Mr. Krejci, and they all made sense, so I think we'll incorporate those changes.
What happens when you're retired?
I was gonna say, were you a teacher, English teacher or something?
She was saying, let's see.
Just rearranged the control.
You want to get a motion?
I make a motion to approve ordinance, driving regulations, Title 6, Chapter 2, with the corrections sent forth by Mr. Krejci.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
Alright, so I'll make those corrections, and I'll bring it up here for you guys to sign, I'll get it posted, so it's official.
Excellent. Discussion or decision to grant for Rock Lake Road project inspection with overpass project update. Well, there's not much of an update, we have a whole lot of things going on, Cory, so. That's a lot of talk about that right now on that. I guess the bigger question is, would they move? Would they be willing to defer the billing until next year to do the engineering on it now?
Yeah.
So you can answer that right now. Okay. Well, that was probably the biggest thing we need to know.
So we just need to move ahead.
Yeah.
Make a motion that we move ahead with, you want to get the road done?
The engineer, yeah.
The engineer.
Well, the grant engineer, yeah.
Make a motion to have the engineering done for the Rock Lake Road project.
Second.
Any other discussion? Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
to get the ball moving, and then whenever it happens, it happens.
Yeah, because
We're
most-
able to do it, because we can reject bids, there's a lot of other options for us at that point, so.
Most of this is done, it just needs to be updated to reflect the cost, right?
No, they have to engineer it.
No, it was
Do
never,
I see.
Oh, I thought it was already done.
it was never actually,
No.
no, applied for it, there was never any engineering, SEH was involved in the initial one.
Yeah.
And it, during that time, you guys refused to do the engineering on it, 'cause it didn't make sense,
Right, okay.
because we had no idea when the, I mean, it kept getting pushed off. Yeah, so anyways, yeah. All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay, motion carries. The engineering. All right, discussion or decision or resolution for levy increase.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that, is there,
Well, I think we need to decide on the cost, what you guys want to ask for.
and
Because you're going to need that, right?
we may not know that until we do the budget workshop, right?
We're at 200 right now. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Towards the highway.
Toward the highway, yeah, those.
No, we can make a motion now, because we have to present the
And
resolution.
they have to-
We have to pass a
Right,
resolution
yeah.
and then present it to the electeds.
Right.
So right now, it's $200,000 designated for roads, and everybody's been paying that for, well, $200,000 you've been paying for 2 years. 1 year? 1 year.
1 year.
But $150,000 you've been paying for at least 10.
About 5 or 6, yeah, I think so much that, yeah.
So last year's tax bill already reflected the 200,000. So now the decision is for the board to decide if you want to ask for more, or leave it at the 200,000. I drove through Sherwood Hills today and I noticed all those dead oak trees. And they are expensive to take down.
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of, they're all on the
There are
right
all kinds of, all kinds of
corner of Woodfield Lane, Sherwood.
big ones,
4.
big.
$2,000 a tree, brother. And that's not the only area, they're all throughout, and all over the town.
And we have other road issues like crack films that are gonna be impaired next year, and we're gonna have these grants that we're gonna wanna, pack away so we can mitigate taking out loans.
We've got manhole covers that need to be addressed in Sherwood Hills.
Yep, there's plenty of stuff, I mean, it's.
Was hoping that the state budget, they approved, was sent to the governor for the increased highway aids to the towns and stuff. And Governor vetoed all that, so that money went away too. That was a sizable chunk of big helpless.
Yep.
Just nowhere else to get money. And this stuff needs to get done, so, I don't know.
I hate to raise it too much for the risk of failure, but I think we should, rather than going 300, I think we should go with 250, which would be a $50,000 increase.
Every $50,000 increase based on an equalized value of the town last year would increase $11 per $100,000 of assessed value. So, you'll have a $250,000 home, that's $30, $30 $20-something. To get roads done, some more roads. If you leave it at the 200,000, it doesn't increase the assessment. Tax.
Yeah, but the cost that went up.
What we can do is, town passes a resolution based on that number at the budget. November's budget approval meeting, special meeting of electors. They can deny that, they can request a different number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we have to do the resolution over again and have another special meeting to approve. But there is a process to get that done. So it's not like it's an end all, if they say no, well, it could say no.
Yeah. But yes, sir.
But then the roads will get worked on either.
Yeah. Well, they can leave it, say that we want to leave it, and then we just roll it back, or if we approve it,
Gravel roads.
do it for 350,000.
Now you're talking.
That's what I had to say.
I say 350.
Let's stay in the waiting at the deep end.
The unfortunate part is that the costs have gone up
Yes.
substantially too with asphalt and everything like that, and that's driving up even
Labor,
grant-related projects, which is really unfortunate.
This does not have to go to a referendum either. It does it at a special meeting. I'll make a motion that we do a resolution for the $250,000. That would be spent specifically on roads.
Right, correct, yeah, second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion update on Drainage District 15 litigation.
I haven't heard nothing.
No, and I emailed them, and I didn't hear anything back either, so I don't know if that's who knows how fast the court system is moving, so.
But has he actually addressed that issue? Because they aren't following the court order.
No, I just gotta answer his email. He didn't answer his email, so I can peg him again tomorrow. Or call him. Just make sure it's underway. All right, new business, discussion or decision on service provided for town engineering works, for ongoing works such as Rock Lake Road Grant Project, Mud Lake Road Grant Project, road readings, driveway reviews, and excavation reviews, and work in the town of right of ways. Since Corey had previously provided those services as change firms, we already decided one, I think, so, or at least the engineering.
Corey, are all your rates and everything relatively the same?
It'll be slightly higher for me. It'll be kind of different though as well. My new firm handles meetings differently. They actually only bill half of my rate for meetings because I sit here through a meeting and I have a lot of things that aren't included. So it will be a little bit different than it was in the past, but most engineering firms and rates are fairly similar. The rate you had with me before was over 5 years old, so it was kind of low before. So I would expect it will go up a little bit, but it won't be too significant.
Do you like working for the town of Lake Mills?
I love it.
All right.
I'm here tonight at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, that's all right.
Corey, do you feel that, and of course, when it comes to grants, I mean, the town board could go a number of different directions on who they want to handle them anyway. It doesn't necessarily have to, include the town engineering stuff and all that. But do you feel that the new firm, I mean, as far as like their success ratio for achieving grants, where do you think they stand on that?
Yeah, I think I have 2 dedicated people that all they do are grants. So I think I have more ability in my new firm with writing grants. That being said, some of the grants that you have chased are for road funding, and every municipality in the state is trying to scratch for the same pool of money. So the grants for roads are very, very competitive right now.
I can say he's nice to work with because he's very prompt at getting things back as far as the driveway permits and stuff. The system's working really well for what we had set up, so.
How about the, as Jim's question, how about the storytelling in those grants?
Yeah, no, I mean.
Because the Mud Lake one, I think, needs to be reworked.
Yep, yeah, no, it certainly can, help with that. I mean, we did help with the MLS grant with polishing that one. The language wasn't the greatest in that. We polished the language in that one, and that was awarded, which ended up, being some of the funding for Crossman Road.
Okay.
Was there anything that you had ongoing with the town through R.A. Smith? Getting left behind, or was everything done there and everything we just moved forward from this point?
I mean, I was pretty much doing everything, so you're kind of dealing with the person that was dealing with it before.
So we hadn't spent any money on Rock Lake Road, that engineering?
No.
No, we didn't even have a contract set up for that.
Okay.
And I just talked to their director today and found out what's going on.
So we had no outstanding?
It did not sound like it, and he really wasn't, he said, I know the shoes that you got, your place you're sitting in right now and whatnot, and, he didn't have any animosity for one way or the other as to who chose tonight, so, and he could not. But he didn't have anything bad to say about anything, so.
And you can still get Whistler all done for us by the end of the year? December?
Yeah, December 15th, and I got a packet here tonight. Let's see here. There's Mud Lake Road, that's October, that's an October deadline, that's gonna come fast.
That's the 27th, right?
I thought it was earlier than that for some reason. I had the 7th stuck in my head, but maybe this is 27th. That's a S&P local rule, and that's gonna be a recycle of that. Essentially that BIL phase 2 we did. Obviously you'll have to do some modifications.
I was going to say
price
that the
adjustments.
cost estimate will have to get relooked at because like we saw with Rock Lake Road, the asphalt costs kind of really elevated the dollar amounts for the work.
And the stories, I sent that over today, sent that that all was going on in that transition. So at least you have a copy of it, everyone does.
So how many, Tom Hauselaw work with Ryan, and Corey does the grant application and turns it over to Brian, and Brian picks it up from there, or does that take Brian out of the picture?
And I can just read the last thing, that I know Brian's heavily involved in the LRIP portion portion, I can't remember on the STP local, but he's willing to review all that anyway, he told us that at the last meeting, so, which is not bad to have, so, at their disposal.
Yeah, I'm totally fine, you know, if he'll review those, I think that's a great thing.
Yeah,
And if he wants to write portions of that for you, by all means, go for it.
yeah, he might want to see the story, well, he'll want to see the story too, so I'll give him a copy of that too. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a lot of eyes on deck, but that's always a good thing on these things, so.
He has a little bit different insight into what's gonna get scored well with every grant cycle too, because he's a little bit closer to
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You give them a long task list, but you haven't officially said that we're going to go yet, so.
No, you gotta do that. That's, yeah, we just had to get the question for that.
I'll make a motion that we go with Rupert and Milken, and with Corey and Corbin as our town engineer.
Second.
Any other discussion? Do we have to approve these other ones separate the moment, or separately? And then that to include that.
No, he's just going to do all this.
Okay. All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Lots of work.
Gotta get to work.
Good work.
You're off for the vacation now.
Next, discussion or decision with a recommendation from the town hall facilities committee to have an attorney draft language for referendum questions in regards to the proposed town hall project for April 2024 election.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
The only question was, should we have the bonds attorney do it, or our town's attorney do it?
We should have both, because that,
The last time they both got involved, kind of ran up the cost,
Ran back
paying
and
two
forth.
attorneys to work on those questions that were presented. So, you know, I thought more about this. I don't think we need to have our bonds attorney do it.
Right.
I think,
it's a non-binding referendum.
This is
Yeah.
done by, I would say town's right.
Yeah.
have our town's attorney.
Eric Larson.
Okay, go ahead. Dave.
Yeah, I'll make that motion to have Eric Larson, our town's attorney, write the referendum question and his recommendations for the town hall facility.
I'll second that. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Discussion or decision about the tall grass weed complaint violation enforcement, number 5586C, TO, Cambridge, and London area, including possible resolution to chart reckoning cost of mitigation on the issues.
Yeah, okay.
I know you wrote on that.
So, yeah, one of staff and I are gonna talk with them, and they said it has been since mowed.
Yeah, I was up the other day and it's mowed.
Listen,
And the county was out there too, so.
Let me ask a question at this point.
Is it on this?
Was it on this subject?
What is it related to?
Yes. Does the town of Lake Mills have code enforcement that applies to London?
Yes.
Yes.
Can I get your name, sir?
Bruce Pedrick, P-E-D-R-I-C-K.
The goofy thing is this falls into two, because the county is there too, county highway.
Yes,
So it gets really, it gets confusing.
But if
That's the
property
road
said
right
on
away.
Lake Mills, they have to
So,
follow the
but there
ordinances.
would be some codes that a code enforcement officer would look at and see if a property was in compliance with more than just a tall weed complaint.
Some of it falls under zoning too, though, Jefferson County zoning is
Okay.
some of their regulations. They have more of a, it's officially more of a code enforcement officer.
Yeah.
Because in a general sense, I imagine that there could be a situation of demolition by neglect, and code enforcement would be appropriate.
I don't disagree with you on that, and I always worry about the other question I had was Health and Human Services, because what maybe transpired in inside of a residence.
Yes.
You know, so I mean, there's a lot there, and I voiced my opinion to, at least one person from the county, and just blowing that over their bow, and I know they talk amongst each other, so and I know they've been out there too, so there's more than one, you know, our town obviously has been there, but the county has been out there too. I mean, they got a lot on their plate too.
Well, usually the enforcement side is triggered by a complaint that's filed.
And where could I access a copy of, you know, that I could read the statutes or whatever they are about?
Most of the ordinances are online. If there's something specific that you're looking for,
What would be the heading for that?
Public nuisance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks on our website. Thank you.
if you're looking for something specific, give me a call and I'll see if I can help you find what you're looking for, as far as the code ordinances and such.
Okay, and I'm sorry, I don't know everyone here by the name. You're
I'm Robin Clerk.
Robin?
Robin. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we don't need that decision. No. All right. Moving on, discussion or decision or resolution to apply special assessments to properties in Short Hills area, Elm Point, Galvin, Avenue for services such as street sweeping and yard waste, curbside pickup.
So you have to go through there and apply the street sweeping services, since that's a want that they have employees here clearly. So in that process, we have to do it anyway each year, as far as going through the entire roll, making sure all the service charges are applied to the correct property. So we can also do that with the yard waste pickup and apply to the properties that are actually receiving the service.
It's not that simple. Did you read the information from the Towns Association? You have to pass resolutions, you have to have a public meeting. You just can't do it retroactively. So I don't think the motion that was made at the annual meeting is valid, because we didn't have a resolution.
Oh.
I mean, it's a long drawn out procedure.
Retroactively, so if we
It's not
do it
easy.
if we
If you have to start now, maybe by next year you could get that.
So you guys,
Well, it's actually not a bad thing, because if they come back and say, involved with the resolution,
Right.
well, we don't have to worry about sweeping anymore. So, I mean, but I mean, my misses are probably gonna want.
so then how was the yard waste, or the garbage must have initially, the garbage services and yard waste are at the same fee right now on the tax bill. So that
Correct.
initially, but it must have gone through the process to put the garbage service fees on the tax bill, right? Years ago?
Well, everybody pays that.
Yeah.
don't they?
I don't know. I would
It's
think
on
that-
everybody's tax bill.
On everybody's
So
tax.
I pay for pickup, yard waste pickup in Shore Hills.
Yeah, that's what people have complained about in the past.
So
They don't
you
get
want
the
to
same
change it,
service.
you want
That's all
to
I care.
you want to take it off
Just
line,
those that are actually receiving service, yeah.
go through the resolution process.
Yep.
We've never done it. So if you want to start that, I mean, I can start looking into it.
Yeah, and then, but it would be more than the $12. I mean, we'd have to, provide you with the cost of the yard waste is.
Well, you know what that is.
Yeah, it's between 900 and 1,000.
Times two.
Each pickup, yeah.
The first thing we do is to go through and find out all the phone numbers, address of who you're going to send specialists.
Right, which is the Monday.
And you have to draw a map of the area. It has to be in with the resolution,
Right.
what you present. So that it's a long drawn out process. It can be done, just takes time.
I think the resolution is, I think we need to do it just because the sand's not going in. And people are gonna continue to complain about it, at least this gives them something to go off.
So the estimate on that, what was, last year, we spent $5,400 to sweep those roads. The Sherwood Hills, Gal Plain, Viper Plain, and Elm Point. And the intention was to assess there's about 450 people, or homes, properties in that area. So the assessment would have been somewhere around $10 per household to do that $5,400 sweeping of the roads. And it was passed at the annual meeting by the electors, but it wasn't passed correctly. Just for information. So if you want to start that, I can look into it. You guys can probably get fire numbers for everybody. Maybe it's just a matter of, like the land, the out plan.
I think if we ask the county land record or land information officer, they would draw some of the information out of their system for us.
So can I just ask a question? So this is, you're talking about this special assessment here because other people are complaining because they don't have sweeping and just these areas do? So,
Correct.
for example, you don't want to pay for us to have this? I mean, for people on Elm Point or Sherwood Hills to have
We've just never had money.
the brush pickup?
We just don't have money in the roads budget. It just vaporizes. We're so far behind on stuff that.
So you don't want to, you don't want to have it for the whole township, you just want to have it for the people that are actually getting.
Those are the only people that request it.
So, but what if people, for example, on Sherwood Hills Road, never asked for the curbside pickup? Or yard waste, maybe they don't have any yard waste, maybe they have to pay too because they live on Sherwood Hills.
Well, that's where it becomes, we've talked about this before at past meetings, that we didn't like the way it was being done because we were basically charging all the town residents for these services, and the rest of the town doesn't get swept. So how's that fair to them? Or yard waste pickup, because yard waste pickup only happens in Sherwood Hills and Elm Point, and in some areas they don't get it, most areas don't get it.
So is the company that does, for example, the brush pickup, are they charging you to do everybody in the township, but only doing this?
No, they just charge for what they're doing right now.
Okay.
So like that cost would go from $1,000 or $800 to $1,000 per twice a year pickup to probably $10,000 twice a year. I mean, it'd be exponential if you have to do the whole town. Because the area.
You better probably get some feedback on the individual,
I mean, the cost would skyrocket.
you know, because.
We get feedback on that all the time because people live on county roads in the town too. And those roads get plowed by the county, so they pay town tax to plow all the roads. They get no benefit from that either. So, you hear.
It's hard to make it equitable.
Yes.
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 Yep. We're just trying to do the best job that we can. It's nothing.
And I appreciate that, I just wanted a clarification of, what we're discussing.
Well, I think we should go forward with the resolution. The yard waste one is kind of, lump that in, or?
They have to be two separate ones.
Yeah, I think they're going to do two separate resolutions because they function separately.
I'm not really thrilled about doing the yard waste. For the simple reason that when I was chairperson, we put in a burning ordinance because that didn't allow any burning up in Sherwood Hills, things like that. We wanted to cut down on leaf burning, and I think it did. I think we succeeded in cutting down on some of that. I don't know if there's any burning that goes on out there.
There still is.
Still, but not as much as there was going on 15 years ago. And so to help alleviate that, we put an ordinance into effect, and then we did the 3-time yard waste pickup. For those areas that can't just haul their leaves out in the field and throw them out. Like I have 40 acres, I can take my brush and burn it there anytime I want. Unless Tom has a burn ban. So I'm really not in favor. I think we pay $1.91, $2, $3.
Per household, per.
I do, and I help pay for the burning, and you guys need yard waste pickup. I think that's an equitable situation. I just would be against charging for that. But the sand sweeping, yeah, I charge for that, because that only benefits. And it doesn't have to be done.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It's just that they don't like it.
So is there any more talk among in the township about getting a brush place to take your waste and do it, so people can do it themselves?
Well, I'm glad you brought it up because we just talked about that briefly at that meeting a day ago, yesterday, of kind of working together on that issue. Personally, my thought process is, I know the city was actually approached once by an independent person just outside of town, at 89. And I, you know, as a municipality, if somebody else independently wanted to handle that, excellent. Why would a municipality want to get involved with that chaos and the machinery and, because it's so expensive. It's so godly expensive. But I think that's something, you know, obviously, you know, we will continue to work on because I think it does need to happen. And I think there's just better ways to recycle that stuff. I mean, we've got agriculture in our county and, you know, leaves are one of the best things we can put back on there, especially if they're composted. And so, you know, if we can find the right situation for that without really incurring a lot of costs, and then it's kind of like, well, when you want to go there, he has his own hours and they tell you what they are, you know, once a week or whatever. You know what it is, and you can just go and do it, you know, or, you know, you call and they say, hey, come over if you call, I mean, however they want to handle it. It just takes, you don't have to staff it, you don't have to do any of that stuff. So I think that potentially is a viable option. There's a couple people I've talked to that are, you know, potentially interested in doing something like that, so it's just a matter of putting it on the fast track.
So that would eliminate the issue with the yard waste crossing next time, so
Then we might be able to do that all.
that everybody would have access to it.
Absolutely.
And that would be a pay-as-you-go, so if you want to do it, you pay for it, if you don't.
Right.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, and like Tom said, the city's in the same predicament. They're looking for a new composting area, and if we can get an intergovernmental agreement with them or whatever.
Yeah, however it works out. Yep.
Pursuing it.
It's hard to say anything in the past that people, especially, I know Tom Aslan had the issue of people abusing it and dumping garbage there too.
Yeah.
So that's the biggest thing, people can't abuse it.
That's why as a municipality, like if I was in the city's shoes, I'd be like, ooh, yeah, that independent guy, that's looking pretty good because now we don't have to deal with any of those headaches. Let them deal with it, let them deal with their security. Yeah.
And they have somebody monitor for that reason. And plus because they have extra staffing, as they go by there, they watch for someone dumping. Because they also have like industrial people who do that for a living, try to get that stuff there, as opposed to the individual homeowners. So there are issues that come up.
Yep.
I think in the past, they actually staffed it, they had a person there, and it's open during certain hours. They got to go in.
Yes.
All right, well, I think I know where we're at here. We'll need a motion for the sweeping end of it. So I'll make a motion to move forward to investigate a resolution to apply the special assessments to properties in the Short Hills area, Elm Point, Gallup, and Nyberg for services as street sweeping.
Second.
Any other discussion?
I'll take on that task.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. E, discussion or decision of boat launch condition and possible bid for renovations and repairs and removal of North End Pier this fall.
I had that one put on there because I was out there, I launched my boat, and I hit this, I thought my trailer was going right into the old lake and I was gonna lose it, but then I got out and I looked at the concrete ramps that are there, and they're all kittywampus. The whole thing is a disaster. You know, a few years ago, that forest lifted all those up and redid all the grading and rewelded the animals and all that stuff. He did that while I was chairperson.
Yeah, one time we had something broken, yeah.
So every 4 or 5 years, you gotta get that redone.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we've got issues that we want to sleeves anymore.
They're bent.
I don't know, the city, you look at their piers on Sandy Beach, it's a whole different system. I don't know why we couldn't.
That's
why
just
we
the
have
system that was there, I mean, it's been there for a while.
Well, why don't they get damaged that we did? All ice push? I know it's ice push that damages our sleeve, they've been right, they've been.
Well, when you get a big lift bolt that hits it like happened when Bob was there, that can do it too, because it bent the whole 4-inch pipe. So yeah, I mean, it can happen a number of different ways. Yeah, the sleeve thing is kind of a, I don't know, Dale Anderson, he had another engineer trying to wrap their brain around that whole thing. So I don't know what the answer is there, and I still don't know if they have the answer for it. But what I don't want to do is, with an actual pier company, is start flipping around again, because that was a headache this spring trying to even get that thing in.
Yeah, I know.
And
So it needs to be.
we need to like go with a person, and they're fairly local, so and they come to Rock Lake already, and I think they're fairly reputable, so I would hate to like divert and go to somebody else at this point.
So are they already planning on taking the pier out for us?
That was what we had talked about, but there's not, they'll do it at the same time they're coming in to do everything else, but there's gonna have to be repairs of that thing too, because there's some floats that are wonky. But you gotta have it out of the water, and they wanna be able to take it to their shop, and I totally understand that. So,
Is the back end being blown out too from power loading?
There's rocks in there.
Well,
Big-
They
I don't
fixed
know.
it last spring.
Did they dump those rocks in there? I don't know, they fixed it?
yeah, it wasn't, Lance Stock was not too happy with that whole
I don't like that.
the DNR.
Especially with the level of the water this year, I need to take your prop off real easy.
Yeah.
Those boulders and all that.
Well,
Go to the water.
and the problem is, and Robin knows a headache of how long it took to get the permit for that thing. in the circling around that she had to go through to do it.
And the documentation of the work being done.
Yeah, and then their response was, well, why don't you put another extra pad in? Yeah,
Further.
yeah, but that's
I think that's,
big money.
I think that's what they had done.
Yeah, and that's true, Tom, but we have a ton of Rock Lake money.
Yeah.
And that can be used.
Which I'm fine with it, but
That would be-
if you're gonna go through and do this again, to pull that permit, then you might as well do it right.
Yeah,
and
go
be
all the
done.
way. Yep.
Because
Yeah,
That was-
that would end the power loading then when you have a normal lake level.
yeah, it'll help substantially, yeah. Yeah, you won't get the washout.
There are engineering firms around.
You might sink some boats and sink some trucks if they go in too far, but
We did that through the DNR.
not our fault.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're not responsible for that. I don't know if there's any grants to redo those. That's how the first one got put in.
There is a 50/50 that
Yeah, it's a public access, so.
that could either fall to the Joint Rock Lake Committee or
Yeah.
Parks Committee, either or.
I mean, that would
Probably
be the
Joint
way to
Rock
go.
Lake Committee, 'cause it's in the lake.
Well, my opinion is we should get an engineering firm, design this thing correctly, add the additional whatever they suggest, because they can see the damage that's out there.
Sounds perfect.
I don't think those piers are completely defunct, but if you wanted to look at something different for down there,
Can we reuse those at Perry Farm?
that's what I was thinking, because that one, and they're both shot at both the landings. The other one got hit this year, and I don't know what Joe did to get it going, but, yeah, and they're
I'll
floaters.
take a new lockbox so you're done.
What's that?
I said, I'll take a new lockbox so I don't bent. I spent 5 minutes trying to get open that one day, some guy thought I was breaking into it. So I wasn't in uniform.
So, I mean, yeah, they could be reused, but it's just the pull-out process is gonna be different, like where Joe pulled out the other two piers, because they're on rollers and they were easier to do. They gotta be lifted out, so it's a little bit different, but.
Well, you gotta lift the concrete pads too anyway, so it's gonna require a crane to do that.
No, for them, but I mean, if DL's coming in to pull the other pier anyway, they could do all three or whatever, at that point in time anyway, if that all transpires that way, with new ones. That north landing takes a beating with weather. Bottom line, I mean, and so that piers take a beating, and it may benefit to have a new style down there, new ones, just because of that.
So you want to work on putting together a RFP to get an engineer plan? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yep, I think so. Got plenty of money for that. Yep.
Does Rupert Milky have anything like that?
For years, yeah.
Oh,
Want to look at their opportunity?
wow, right in-house.
Help us put together an RFP. Okay, I'll make a motion that we put together an RFP for the reconstruction of the north end launch.
Second. Any other discussion?
And also the pier, or just design and reconstruction, let's put that.
Okay.
Design and reconstruction.
And that includes the pier too, or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole, yeah.
Gotcha. All right, just to double check that. All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries. All right, discussion or decision on RFP for updating the town's comprehensive land use plan 2025 RFP due September 8th for decision made by September 12th.
And I did provide copies to the planning commission members as well, even though tonight is when the RFP said that a decision would be made. They don't get to revisit the actual RFPs that come in. But they had them, and I told them if they had feedback to let somebody know.
And it's two, right?
Just the two, yep.
They're both qualified firms to do the work. One's at 20,000.
Yeah. 30, 38, whichever you want to look at it. Maybe 35. Yep, very good. 38.
Yeah, the other one's less.
Yeah, the other one's 20, I think.
I looked at the proposed work, and they're both the same, pretty much. The only thing is one community on the rear Vanderwall, the community survey is an optional task, an additional $970. In the rear Becker one, they do have a survey included in the original cost of $20,000. So.
When you guys initially looked at this, I remember Steve Nass saying something like he didn't think there was going to be a whole ton of changes, and that's because there was a decision to be made on whether to go this route or not. To have professional consultant do this. But that make it obviously sway the decision on the price on this, on these two.
By state statutes, you have to comply with the requirements of that statute to redo the plan. And these are the steps, so you can't shortcut it. Like, the plan commission would not be able to do it without public input and all these graphs updated, and we don't have
the resources and staffing
to do all this GIS searches and demographics and statistics. You know. So Beerbecker complied with our RFP, everything's in there as far as I read, for $20,000. Vanderwall is at $29,000 base price, does not include a community survey, so that's another $1,000, so they're about $32,000 base compared to 20.
Well, I think you need the community survey though.
Yeah, so
you don't want to drop that.
Beerbecker has it included.
Yeah.
You definitely need it,
Yeah. And that's going to be extra with.
They'll probably be done by a Survey Monkey or something on site.
Yeah.
So, I make a motion that we go with Beerbecker. Updated the comprehensive land use plan.
For 20,000, second.
20,000.
You second?
Yes, I did.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
I will put together a letter to send to both of them, letting them know that who was awarded and such.
All right. Discussion or decision of setting 2024 town budget workshop date.
And Tom, you are gonna be gone quite a bit.
I'm ugly, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm
we
the
don't
worst.
have all the information at the beginning of October, so I think the later dates that you had offered,
16th, 17th.
yes. 16th's not the greatest for me.
Gotta look at those. Look at them here. Let me just see.
16th is a Monday, 17th is a Tuesday.
Monday's the 16th. That's what you have a tough time with.
Yeah, I got
17th.
2 other meetings that evening, afternoon evening.
No, 17th.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it's right about time. We usually always around 17th, 20th.
You're right in the middle of soybeans.
Well, actually, let's have Jim pick the date, because usually when he picks it, it's raining and doesn't make a difference. No, that's fine.
What time are you thinking? It doesn't necessarily have to be at night either.
I'm flexible all day, so that's
I'm thinking 6-ish.
You want it dark?
AM.
No.
6 p.m.
Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
Maybe ish.
Make a motion that we have the budget, 2024 town budget workshop on October 17th at 6 p.m. Town Hall.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Motion carries.
There's your marching orders.
All right, discussion or decision.
Presentation by them.
Discussion or decision of Clean Boats, Clean Waters 2024 grant application enroll Jefferson County for the program.
Yes.
Okay. We got approached by Jefferson County to essentially take over the program, and we rewrite them the checks. So they do the grant application, the hiring, staffing.
so then when the funds wouldn't go through the county, it goes still through the municipalities?
Right, we would be responsible for a payment, a match payment to them. So whatever because it's a matching program or whatever. So the city would do their portion, match portion, we would do our match portion. But the county would run the whole thing. Meaning that, how it kind of works, because I also serve on a land conservation committee, and this is how it works up in that county. The county runs the program up there. And the land conservation committee kind of governs, they're the back check accountability factor of the program, to make sure that, they'll make their recommendations and vote on it, and then it could be sent back to the town boards, or however we want that picture to look like for, if there's financial stuff that's increasing because of hiring and such. To me, it runs very efficiently that way. They hire an AIS coordinator, they kind of handle everything, they're already doing some of the training anyway. But it just takes essentially everything, would take stuff off your plate.
So they do the payroll for them,
I believe so,
because that's the biggest
yeah.
juggle here, that's the highest time spent.
Yeah, I think the only thing we would have to do is cut them the check once a year, however they want that payment structure.
Yeah, I think logistically, that's something we need to know, that if the person that is the employee of the county, that obviously they're paid.
And she was supposed to give me some updated costs, but I did not get those. But, because that comes up pretty soon here, doesn't it?
November,
Is it November that late? I can't remember. I thought it was sooner than that, but.
So like Tom, then we only have to write a check to the county for our portion, not all of it, right? because then they would be collecting from the DNR, the
Correct.
other portion.
November 1st.
Well, we got time, but we can make it contingent on those factors, obviously.
Yeah, we kind of needed.
On whatever we want it to be,
Functions,
essentially how we want it to function. Like, to me, it's like, it would be really nice if this didn't have to come back to a town board meeting every year. Like, you could say, well, the cap is X on that. If it exceeds that cap for our contribution, then it would have to come back to the town board. Just so you don't have to sit there and approve this thing every year. As long as the program is in effect. So who knows how much longer it goes or whatever, but as long as it's in effect, it is worthy to do it on the water or whatever, to have that representation, to try to keep it cleaner lakes.
Are they hoping to be able to hire people to work at different launches, whether they're in the town or the city or wherever, so they can kind of float around? Is that the goal?
They would be able to take care of that, so we wouldn't have to worry about it.
And then we'll have to have an accounting to make sure that the hours spent here and there are all panning out to what the.
And my guess is they're gonna do, and I know the city's probably struggled with it this year, getting, people hired or whatever, but I'm assuming they're gonna hire for either or. They're not going to float them around.
Hit our 200 hours.
Yeah.
They're done, so.
Yeah. Because they're gonna want it easy on their end too. I don't suspect they're gonna start flipping and flopping.
So we need additional information, correct? I'll make a motion that we table this to October and try to get the additional information as far as who's gonna pay who, who's gonna do the payroll.
Updated costs, because that didn't come in.
Second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion carries, tabled. Correspondence, discussion of correspondence sent to the town, the Cambridge, town residents by the Cambridge Volunteer Fire Department.
So, Tom, I know you received one of these.
I did, I don't know if it was dropped in my front door or in the mailbox, I don't even remember.
Mine came in the mail.
It was mail, it was postage, yeah.
That's what this is in regards to. I didn't read it. I'm assuming you read it?
This thing?
I read this one.
Yeah, I read this,
That's what the agenda item's referring to. This came today. This is a whole other correspondence from the volunteer fire department.
yeah. Oh, that's, yeah.
That's on the closed session stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
No, exactly.
So anyways,
That's not on the agenda.
my concern on this whole thing is like, this looks like activism to me, and who paid for it, because I'm hoping that our town funds didn't pay for something like this.
And I hope my donated money didn't pay for this.
Yeah.
Does it state on there where the funds came from? I believe it states, but
But just on the
no
bottom, it says,
requirement that it
to help our cause, donations can be mailed to,
But the money had to come for somewhere initially to pay for
I
it.
think you're supposed to disclose that on those types of correspondence.
and during the,
Just says distributed by the Cambridge Volunteer Fire.
Memorial Day pancake breakfast, they also distributed flyers, somewhat, the same tone as this one here.
Was this mailed?
Yeah, mail.
Yeah, it was
received
mailed.
in the mail.
Yeah, I did not get one, but I got one from the neighbor.
Did get one.
So I don't know if it was random or.
I didn't get one.
Oh, no, what happened?
Maybe only Charlotte Hills people got it.
That could be, they might have hit the bigger
Anybody else?
residential.
Got it. I haven't had any calls or any questions on it, but
Well, I guess let me tell you that this is pretty far from the truth. We have $12,000 budgeted for lawyer fees. In here, it is $12,000 for professional services, and in the back it says that we've spent over $100,000. That is not true. We are within our budget. The other thing is being a commissioner on this service, we are not looking at having a full-time service. That and even any of our closed session meetings, that subject has never came up. So the only thing that we are looking to do, at the end of the day, the municipalities are 100% responsible for what the EMS does and also the fire department. Our issue, and I guess my issue is we have control. Our district chief is an employee of the commission. We give the Cambridge Fire Department $90,000 a year, which this year they're asking for $98,000. And then they distribute that money for stipends and other amenities that they have. That's one of the other things I'm working for, is to try to get a true cost to the fire department. Because right now, the EMS has a true cost. Ambulances, drugs, and everything that goes with running that service. But the commission budget is for the building, the fire trucks, all of the equipment, and building maintenance. So that never shows up on the fire department's budget. So to me, in my mind, that is skewed. So I'm trying to work. Last year we made a little bit of headway on it. Hopefully this year we can get a little more of a true view, along with what I mentioned before with the CPA taking a look at what the asset and the depreciation is. So hopefully we can correct, and that's what the whole intergovernment agreement is about. It's not changing the structure of that fire department. That structure stays the same. The only difference would be is the fire chief would be an employee of the commission, so that we have control over what happens in that station. So I think that prompts up a lot of it. So I don't know if that answers any questions that you guys have in your mind, but.
Well, whoever got it, but I think this is, to me, is absolutely ridiculous, because the first line says, who will save your Cambridge Fire Department? Where's the fire department going? It's not going anywhere.
Right.
I mean, that's just an absolutely ridiculous statement.
Yep.
And I'm questioning leadership, who was in charge and who sent this out, because this is not leadership. And then the second line, your taxpayer money is being spent out of an out of control, and I think that out of control fire and EMS commission, I think that's a direct insult to all the towns that have a commissioner in that commission. And I've sat in the meetings. I mean, we've all been to a meeting. It's not out of control at all. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's the most controlled thing I've ever seen, and one of the best things I ever have seen. So to me, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why they would want to stirring up residents, which is almost threatening, like they're not going to have the service. To me, that's unacceptable.
So just to clarify this, the township is covered now by the Cambridge EMS, right?
Correct.
And what about the fire department?
The only
there's a portion.
Right, 7% of the town of Lake Mills is covered by the Cambridge Fire Department, which most of that is rural, which a lot of it is DNR property.
And that's the way it's been though, right?
Yeah, that has been that way. Jim, we did that 30 years ago. Yeah, 20 years ago. The Cambridge Fire District would run down Hope Lake Road, up Highway A, down London Road. That is everything in that area is encompassed by it's always been Cambridge EMS and also Cambridge Fire. So now all of the town of Lake Mills is Cambridge EMS, but the fire district has not changed.
I wanted to clarify that.
Sure, yep.
Yeah, I'm just noting that you have to be very careful with media, because there's a lot of things that are not fact in here.
Yes, I agree.
This is a result going to a full-time paid department. There's no decision that's ever been made on that. That's absolutely ridiculous.
To other areas of the township, I mean, why would I get one?
Right, because you're not serviced by them.
I know.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out.
The intent is a question.
Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna bring it up.
Yep, no, it's good.
Future agenda item? Number 13.
Discussion of future agenda items.
10A, 10B, 10F. That's all I had. Oh, and the 10H, or 11H, one we just.
11H with clean boats, clean waters, yep.
We got 3 or 4 items.
Does one of those cover the bug tussle?
Bug tussle was under reports, and we probably would want to add that just on, as an agenda item, to force that issue a little bit. My guess is they're probably behind a little bit with the city setbacks, but it shouldn't really affect, I don't think it'll affect us, and I don't remember them even having a lot of boxes and things in our township anyway, but they haven't really, we didn't really even get to that, because they were so.
My concern is, it's not just bug tussle, but we have yet to get a signed agreement from Spectrum.
Yeah.
And there was one other that was inquiring about it, but I haven't really heard from them either, after we gave them what our requirements are.
And I haven't heard anything back, and I wasn't gonna talk to anyone from their legal, so.
Especially over the phone, they need,
Our
whatever
attorney can
questions
talk
they
to
have
them.
should come in writing, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Meeting scheduled, October 3rd.
Tom? On that last one, I just wanted to mention that the city does have a new fire chief, and he would
Oh, that's
really like
right.
to come to your next meeting, so if that is something you could put up.
Absolutely, yep, I forgot about that one in the
Yeah,
report.
thanks, Jason Russ is his name.
Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, thanks.
Put them up front.
That's right.
Yep.
Should we do it during reports?
Yeah, I think so.
After police report?
We can do it during reports probably, because we can do QA through there anyway. Yep.
Police first.
Say it. Hold on now. Now we got now we know the intergalactic struggles. All right, meeting scheduled. We actually have a joint Rock Lake Committee, I think, meeting, and then, or our meeting, I know, in the town, your committee meetings this week too, right? Town hall.
Yes, 14th.
14th. Parks Committee meetings on the 14th. October 3rd, 2023, Plan Commission meeting, 7 PM at the Town Hall. October 5th, 2023, Parks, that would be the subsequent Parks Committee meeting in October, 7 PM at the Town Hall. October 10th, Town Board meeting, 7 PM at the Town Hall. October 12th, 2023, Joint Rock Lake Committee, 6 PM City Hall. October 12th, Town Hall Facilities meeting, 6 PM Town Hall.
And October 17th, budget.
And October 17th, the budget session. All right, we get a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Discussion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.